Organizations aren't a machine. Organizations are an organism. And here's why I say that. Machines do not evolve. Machines are not creative. Machines can't actually innovate. Organisms are made to grow. They're made to do better. They're made to, branch out and be more of what they are. As a leader, if you have vision and you want to be able to move your organization into the next 100 years, you don't want a machine because machines just do the same thing. You want an organism that has the ability to grow and the ability to create and the ability to evolve. Machine doesn't evolve. Machine just clicks through. An organism will evolve to be able to meet the challenges of whatever's happening. You can replace a human gear, but you can't replace an entire organism that has the spark and the innovation and the creativity. And this is important. When you think about an organization as a machine, it stifles creativity, it stifles autonomy, it creates burnout, it creates resentment and turnover because people aren't machines. On the other hand, if as a leader you understand that this is an organism that can live and breathe and create, now you have something that can evolve and be something bigger and better and continue to move forward into the next century. I want to offer just a thought for my leaders out there, because a lot of us are brought up into the management style of things, right? It's hierarchical. It's our job to make sure this is running right. And a lot of people who get into those jobs don't get into those jobs because they are the best leaders. They get into those jobs because they're the best technicians, because they bring in the biggest contracts, because they have the biggest clients. But that doesn't necessarily make them great leaders. So here's your challenge. As leaders, think of your organization as an organism, like a human body. And like a human body, it's an organism that's made up of systems, right? Human body, you have the cardiovascular system, you have nervous system, gastric system, you have bones and you have skin and you have all these different things, but there's all these different things that work together to be able to make this organism work. And as the brain sends out signals to the rest of the organism sends those signals back, right? If you fall and you scrape your knee, you're sending signals to the brain saying this part of the system isn't working very well. If your stomach is upset, it goes back to the brain. If your heart stops working, it goes back to the brain pretty fast. The organism stops. So think about it instead of as a machine that's just click, 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 click. You're dealing with an organism with these interrelated systems. But because these systems are interrelated, or they should be, if you have an organism, that means it can grow, it can heal, and it can innovate and evolve. It's alive, it's adaptive, and it's interconnected. Now, as a leader, wouldn't you rather have an organization that is interconnected and vibrant and alive? Think Apple with its innovations, rather than one that's stagnant and fails to make it into the innovation of the next century. Think buggy whip makers, right? Nobody's needed a buggy whip maker in the United States for a long time because they didn't evolve. They didn't adapt. When this happens, this idea, getting rid of this managerial idea of being a machine and moving into a leadership idea of it being an organism, the culture shifts from command and control to collaboration, because now you have these interconnected systems that are working together to make the organism thrive, as opposed to here's this chunk of machine and this chunk of machine and this chunk of machine. As a leader, that should be what you want. As a leader, if you're doing your job well, you're not really needed. Your job is vision. Your job is moving this organism ahead. Your job is seeing what's coming next. But you don't have to be involved in the day-to-day running. That's a manager's job.